Solano's in the video.
Yeah, it's crazy as hell. And it's like all the girls standing in the line. And SZA's like in the back. Hey, what's going on? I'm here with.
Hush Forte.
Hey, it's a nice sunny day out here in the city. Uh, honestly, I would call it Larry June weather.
Larry what?
So you being from South Florida, I gotta ask, like, this is a normal day for you. So what do you do on a day like this?
If I'm in Florida or if I'm here?
If you're here,
If I'm here, I come outside and find random things to do just as an excuse to be outside. This is not a day to be in the studio until the sun falls.
I don't, I don't know who it was. I think it was D'Angelo. D'Angelo was he always made it his business to like record at night
Right.
because he's always like, well, I'm gonna just be. He's a night owl,
Right.
so very much a night owl.
Yeah, you go out during the day and give yourself experiences to hopefully bring back into the studio to just make something old.
So you dropped these two singles, "It Ain't Hard" and "Weight of the World," and I gotta ask before we even
Faith.
"Weight of Faith," sorry, "Weight of the Faith," and I gotta ask, within these two tracks, I know you're always within being vulnerable and being like, I want to show people who I am, in different all these different singles and projects. Is there such thing as a limit for you? Is there like a,
Of vulnerability?
yeah?
But not really. I don't think there's anything that can't be. I can't find a way to express. Honestly, uh, I think it's just a matter of finding the right words to where it resonates. Uh, resonates. How you doing? To where it resonates in a way that I'm ready to stand on. You know.
I know I come from a Caribbean background myself as well,
Oh, nice.
and I know you started playing the piano at such a young age, and your parents are like, "We gonna give you something to do." As Caribbean parents, they're like, no disrespect to anybody that's like, they don't believe in sitting down, but in a Caribbean household, it's all right, play outside, or you're not gonna stay inside.
Right.
Get to work, do something,
You want to keep
and
yourself busy.
yeah,
What they say, an idle mind is a devil's playground. You've heard that before?
yes, yes. Do you think that skill, or even just honing in, playing an instrument, has obviously developed you to playing music, but that skill of not sitting around, do you think that's developed into your own art?
Absolutely, yeah. I love, I've grown to love my well-roundedness, and I feel like it's a product of me learning how to get good at things just over and over again. Um, and I feel like I bring that into my musical world. Right? There's no real limit. If I feel like rapping, I'm like when I felt like rapping, I started rapping. When I felt like picking up the guitar, picked up the guitar. When I felt like singing, I started singing. I just believe that
Mm.
it will come together in some way. You know.
When it comes to you in your spaces of, I'll pick up a guitar, I want to rap, I want to sing, you know, does it pay off for you in the end if you're like, when you're mixing and mastering, you're like, sequencing, and sequencing, like, should I do this, should I rap, and should I put this song that happens to be hip hop based, or should I go with something that's like a Q type, shout out to Q, like that type of, yeah.
Um, I mean, I think it's just a reflection of life and where I'm at and what I'm confident in. So, or what I want to express. I think there's some things that you can express with the cadence of rap and like the energy behind rap, the energy behind rap that you can't necessarily express in just a regular rock song or pop song or R&B. So I think it really just depends what's honest to me and what I'm confident in doing. I think I've grown more confident in singing or you know in playing guitar. Like different things come out at different times. I just trust them.
Now, I've read that you actually went to school for basketball. You played basketball. Like, what was your
Yeah,
position?
I was a shooting guard.
Oh shit. So within, trying to get your mind together and warm ups and even before games, what songs were you listening to before warm ups and even before a big game?
At the time, wait, I want to say it was like Rick Ross, uh, definitely Kanye. I think Yeezus was out, came out in the prime of my high school basketball years,
Oh wow.
and I was like, I didn't like the album at first until I was listening to it in the context of trying to get ready for something where I felt like I had ops.
Honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. Black Sand Hit will make you feel like that.
You against the world.
Man, I kept thinking about Send It Up.
Yeah.
We gonna send this bitch up in a bit.
Yeah, it's good. Like, energizing music.
This the type of shit you hear in the club. Bitch in the club.
And basketball is like very artful and very much a game of confidence in a way. The way you play is really depends on your confidence. I feel like those albums are like the manifestations of confidence, you know?
Now you have an older brother, if I'm not mistaken. Like you have an older sibling of a. I know what that's like to have an age gap with a sibling,
Right.
and he put you on to early Drake. He put you on to Nerd. All these amazing artists who we know today. Which one is your earliest memory of being like you guys were bonding over this, or you guys were like, hey, did you hear this? Hey, did you hear this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of my most vivid memories. Like when I was growing up, he was in college, and he would come down for on weekends or every once in a while when he could. And I remember driving around in this PT Cruiser. We had these like two 10-inch subwoofers in the trunk that would go crazy. And I just remember being so lost in the sound of whatever he was playing. And I remember him playing NERD records, Lil Wayne, early Lil Wayne. Um,
Right?
what else?
Brought I would not be surprised.
He really loved. It was a version of what's it called? It's like NERD record that had. It was like remade by Questlove. Like the production was redone by Questlove. I can't remember what it's called, but that's like his favorite mixtape. If I remember it later, I'll tell you. It's really capture it. Or put like a subtitle.
Yeah. Yes.
Stop.
Oh, sorry. School's let out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We are.
Cool. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, some activity.
Right. Well, actually, speaking of NERD, I gotta ask you, what's your favorite artwork of theirs?
Yeah, everybody.
I was like, I don't even know.
I mean,
But he was like,
I really love the one where they just sit on the couch.
Oh yeah, that's the first one with Shay. Yeah. My favorite is
It feels like I'm one of the homies.
my favorite is Sing Sounds.
Sing sounds.
Yeah, Sing Sounds, and I was at a Flower Child show, and I haven't heard this song in a while. And it's I guess you couldn't hear what I'm talking about. Yeah, I guess I'm talking to you. And he was like, I was at a show. When Nico was trying to tell him like, get away from this girl. And like I loved like the background vocals of him being like, I like you, I love you, I love you, I love. And like Pharrell was just very childlike.
Animated.
Yeah, and like Chad was just, listening to the earlier work, I'm like, you can tell they had so much fun.
Yeah, they took freedom, a lot of creative freedom. Like, became so influential that I get them. That's like how you.
That and I don't know if it was that album, but it was oh my god, it's the album. It's one of the songs. It's actually with Kanye and Lupe, and it's all the girls in the bathroom. Yeah, and in the video, SZA's actually in that video.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's actually in the video. Cause
I
there,
have to watch it again.
yeah, and this is when they were trying to do the Soldiers group together.
Yeah.
And it never came about. And I was watching Vashti like did a video for them.
Solano was in the video.
Yeah, it's crazy as hell. And it's like all the girls standing in the line. And SZA's like in the back, like she had to be like 19.
Oh wow.
Because if I'm not mistaken, she was like an intern.
Wow.
Yeah, so she.
That's like important history. Right?
Yeah, like it's actually funny as hell. When it comes to even speaking of seeing sounds, when you look for a record or when you're like trying to find a certain song that you're going for, is there a certain color or certain emotion that you're going for when you make your music?
When I'm working on music.
Yeah.
I think that changes too, but I feel like as of late, it's been the spectrum between like purple and green.
Oh.
So it's like green to blue to purple. It's like that whole spectrum. I really resonate with that now. And like shadows.
Oh.
Well,
What was the color that came to mind from your last project? Look closely.
I don't really know. I think I was seeing more like greenish, yellowish.
Mm.
and black, like together. Uh, yeah, greenish, yellowish, and yeah, maybe a little bit of red.
And Ardor from 2019.
Um, that one I kind of honestly only put together because Q like pressured me to do it. He was like, "I like this music, I need you to put it out."
Thank you, Q. Thank you.
Yeah, I've contemplated taking it down so many times.
Wow.
It's there's no words, so but whatever. It's a piece of maybe. I mean, the cover is red, so it's hard for me to think of anything else.
When it comes to even, you know, do you often change your mind sometimes of like, should I drop this song? Should I even drop this project? How often do you contemplate dropping music
Um,
or needing that push, like from like a
yeah.
Q or someone from your like your close friend group being like,
Right.
yo, quick,
I
what
think
you
it can
doing?
be helpful, but I think ultimately I have to be ready for it myself, no matter who's
Yeah.
urging me to drop something. It has to like make sense for what I feel and my intentions, and did I say what I wanted to say? Did I accomplish the things that I set out to?
Yeah.
But I think now I have a good grasp when something's finished. That it took me time to figure out that for myself. Yeah.
I love that you space out your projects because you have one from 2019 to 2021, and like now I guess we get to ask the question:
But
Can I? Do I? You dropping a project soon?
oh yeah, it's like it's happening now. Um, yeah, it's just I feel the most confident I've ever felt in what I'm making, and that it feels like me. And again, I accomplished the thing that I set out for.
Mm.
I have to look closely, and so um, even just these first two songs, is part of like a whole saga, I would call it, that is slowly rolling out through this whole year.
Yeah.
Uh, it's called Magnet Park. I have no mystery about it. you know, I think I tend to be a very cryptic person, but I don't think that there needs to be any mystery about it. LA, then people should just know that it's called Magnet Park. Uh, everything that people, anyone will see from me or hear from me is like a part of that saga, even if it doesn't end up on the final cut of the record.
Mm.
But it's part of the world to make that right. That makes sense.
What's the colors we're going for? Or you think of when you think of this record?
Yeah, I think of the blues and purples and greens and the in betweens. You know, yeah.
That was it. Is there anything that you want anyone to take away before, while we're on this journey of rolling out your next project, Magnet?
Um, I would just say that it's about finding freedom in, uh, after or through something, a moment that feels devastating. If I had to summarize it, it's arriving at destruction, arriving at a wasteland, and at first being scared, and then realizing, oh, it's an opportunity for me to build something the way I want to build it and do it the way I want to, and sort of leave any type of prior structure.
Yeah.
It's your freedom.
So,
It's really about freedom.
now you're from South Florida,
I am.
so and you grew up around the SoundCloud era, which there's a lot of artists that we're seeing the recognition that they're getting from Isaiah Falls, Flozig, what we talked about earlier. Even Sailor is also getting her justice right now, and even just what are your thoughts now as being a South Florida artist? And for those who be like, he doesn't sound like he's from South Florida. Like, what is a real South Florida artist really?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Yeah.
What does it mean to be a South Florida artist?
Yes.
I think it means to be born somewhere in between West Palm and Miami. I think that's it. You good? You good. I think you should be born in the general South Florida area. I think there's nothing more than that because all those people that you named are making really cool stuff and making very different stuff than each other. And I think there's nothing else outside of just being from the area that defines a South Florida artist person.
How long have you been living in Brooklyn, or even just the city at that?
In New York for 4 years now, and in Brooklyn for two.
So we will see.
I lived in Harlem for 2 years.
What was your vivid memory of like making your first single from from coming from Florida to like actually being in New York? What was the
Making
feelings?
my first single here.
Yeah, or even just project.
Oh. Well, look closely. I made before I came to New York, but I put my finishing touches on here. And I just kind of remember being like, okay, this needs to get out. Like it's like I've done the important part, and now everything else we just need to find a way to like wrap it up. And I felt like it was very in tune with the fast speed of being here. I think it kind of helped me to like move and be decisive. And then everything I released between then and now is I think it was not as smooth of a process of knowing like what it was going to turn into or how I wanted to release it. So it wasn't like super. I wouldn't say there was like an exciting moment,
Yeah.
but I think it was a process of me knowing that okay, I said what I needed to say,
Yeah.
and I did what I needed to do in this, and it's time to get it together.
Do you think I was gonna say? Do you think that sense of wonder, the anxiousness, being like, I don't know what's next, like kind of helped you for like for this project, for your next project, Magnus?
To not know what's next.
Yeah. I find it
Looking
cool.
back,
I find
yeah.
it cool.
Looking back, it did. I think looking back, it did. Because now I really know so clearly what I want. So I'm happy I took my time instead of rushing into it. There was times I wanted to rush into it, but I'm happy I did it.
Now, my last question. Honestly, this is kind of funny because you give off a vibe of I like to watch a lot of music videos, and especially if someone who like you DIY, you're all the way DIY. So I gotta ask, what has been your favorite thing about making your own visuals or just creating your own art without anyone, because I've seen a lot of artists who are taking like, all right, they're not gonna take this big budget, but they're gonna make it their own thing and be like, this is Hush, this is me.
Yeah.
So what's been your favorite portion of just being your own person and making your own visuals?
I would say now I do work with people.
Hmm.
And they're incredible and better than me at anything I do. But I'll use that segue to when I was doing a lot of things by myself. I think the most beautiful thing is learning different parts of this art world ecosystem. And I feel like I got to learn them enough to get the respect of the people that I work with now, and also to be able to respect what they do on a deeper level because I've done it myself or tried to do it at a smaller scale. So when I work with directors, DPs, producers, I can really appreciate when they can do something that I'm not able to do. Because I know how hard it was for me to even do what I made.
Damn. I'm glad to see that all the way DIY, but there's nothing wrong with having help.
Yeah, yes.
We all need direction now.
Yeah, it feels like just friends. Now it feels like friends coming together and just like there's not necessarily a clear divide of responsibility. I think we all just appreciate each other's ideas, and I really enjoy that.
So, thank you again, and could you let the people know what your project is called, so everyone should be on the lookout and just be on this journey with you?
Called Magnet Park. What is that? Pay attention to that I'm putting out. It will all come together, I believe. I think.
Okay, I got you. Magnet Park. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great conversation.
Thank you, man.